Okay, it's 4:00. Welcome to the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. September 8th. Go around the room and introduce ourselves. Dean Veneman, I'm Chair.
I'm Elizabeth Whalen, I'm Vice Chair.
Dawn DeSorcy, staff.
Susan Fowles, committee member.
Julie Tim, Commissioner.
Jeff Dunscover, Alderman, District 4.
Jake Lee, staff.
Ron Rasmussen, committee member. Paul Muller, Public Works Superintendent.
Barb Scanlon, citizen.
Michael Tum, District 7 Alderman.
So first item is to approve the July 14th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, second, any further discussion, any questions on it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Item 3, update on the, Aquatic Center. Just gone.
So this is basically the same report that was provided earlier, July, at our July meeting. And it's just been updated to include all the end of the year totals. We don't have all of the bills
No, we won't have that.
in yet, or
Probably end of September, we'll get the final, We Energies, water and light bill.
employee costs.
Sewage, yeah. End of September, we'll have the final numbers on those types of things, but everything's looking good as far as budget wise, so.
And this is basically just the revenues. Day passes were pretty comparable to last year, up a little bit. Season passes were down just slightly. Concession sales were up a little bit more. And of course, closures were also a little bit higher this year, but let's see. Rentals were up just slightly as well. We had a lot of parties. A couple of full facility rentals that were new to us this year. And let's see. The programming, credit card fees.
3%.
Yep, we did the credit card fees. 3% added on to all of the credit card charges,
Yep,
which
added up to almost $5,000.
Yeah.
So,
we do a lot of credit card transactions there, and that gets pricey when you have to pay for those fees. So. Then the programming we had, the only thing I can think of why they're down just slightly is because we took 2 weeks of swim lessons off just because it was tough to fit all of that in with the staffing. So they're down slightly, but aside from that, it was busy this summer there. I have some more in my report, but I can include it now just about some of our activities that we did this summer, our special events. We had like the Christmas in July. Everybody really liked that. We had little headbands for the staff, and they actually really liked that, which I was surprised at. And then Santa was there. We had Christmas music, and our season pass holders surprised everybody and showed up in a Buddy Elf costume. It was pretty funny. So there were pictures being taken. That was pretty cute. The duck race, we got all of our licensing in order now, so we were able to have the duck race.
Yeah.
And we sold 100 ducks, it was like that. So we could definitely sell more of those and probably do this
do it
a
a
couple
couple times.
times. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. The public really liked it. It was kind of fun to watch them coming around. Cardboard regatta, we had 2 boats entered, and then we had one of our lifeguards at the last second that offered to hop in, and she just literally hopped into a box and sunk right away. But then that way we could give the prizes for the 3 categories. So she was the most dramatic savior. So that was fun.
Try it out again next year. I think we'll do it maybe at the end of not at 2 o'clock, maybe
Yeah, a little later in the day.
6 o'clock or something like that. Reading, we weren't sure what cardboard could do to make a mess in the pool, so
Yeah.
we're kind of skeptical on doing that. But we'll just get it out a little earlier next year.
It didn't break down as much as we
Yeah.
expected, I don't think. And afterwards, we let the 2 boats wanted to go into the river and try it out, so we let them do that. We might just actually do the race in the next year, because it's a longer distance. So it was fun. Dog Day we had as well. We had 69 dogs registered. We had a lot of compliments about the facility and just the fact that we allow people to do that. It was really fun. Nice weather and a lot of people were at that. So, do you have anything else?
Not really. As you can see, concessions always does a good job. Like we ended up making over 50,000 after staff wages and then everything that we purchased. So it's a good thing to have. I know we talked about always raising the price on food, but if people are still willing to pay for it and we're making money, I'd say kind of leave it alone unless we get a big increase in what we purchased stuff for. But I think we're good at where we're at for pricing.
We raised it slightly
A little
this
bit.
year just to cover the tax thing. I think last year we raised just a little bit, but nothing too significant.
Jake, do you guys keep track of who the non-visitors or the non-residents are?
Like
Like
names?
Well,
or
where
just
they,
kinda
where they live outside of the
No,
city?
not really. No.
We have a button that's basically resident or non-resident
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
okay.
on the register, and
Yeah.
So that's it, okay.
We did years ago.
I think when we first started doing it, I mean, when we were trying to figure out that whole thing,
it was
I'd say it
COVID.
was at least probably 80% was Grand
That's
Rapids.
what I think.
Yeah. There's a lot.
And
Just
that
wondered
was,
if you could
the,
do
that
it.
was the biggest issue is people said it's because it says Wisconsin Rapids on their driver's license. And so that was really one of the deals going all the way back to when Joe was here. It's going all the way from how we train them to train,
We still
16-year-olds.
Well, I'm sorry. We still get people that come in and ask if they have to be residents to attend. I think because of COVID, we had some restrictions for COVID, and people are still confused by that. So, it's like, yep, anybody can come.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about, at a future meeting, the hours, maybe just doing a little bit of a shift in hours. And then I'm sure we'll talk about the day pass rates and maybe season pass rates and stuff, probably just following that.
So one of the things that I noticed was in the closures, like in the past, there was more, a few more straight closures, where this time we're, closing at, different times of the day and stuff a lot more.
We
Is
tried.
is that working with the staff all right, with,
Those days are so difficult, like you look at the forecast and you think, okay, it's gonna clear up by whatever time and we can open and then the weather doesn't always cooperate how we planned. There were a couple days in there that the staff was just kind of hanging out and waiting and it just, nothing for growth for the day, so it's hard. That's the hardest thing, is just to.
well, it's a great, I just see lots of people out there enjoying it, wonderful facility for our residents, so.
It was a bummer that the last two Saturdays were really not great weather, so that, you probably would have sold a lot more concessions.
Concession sales, that did great.
Yeah.
Considering weighing it off with the days you've been closed,
Mhm.
less time, more sales, more efficient.
Pretty, people like it,
Doing something right.
it's good food.
Which one is that aquatics open shelter again?
It's the one behind,
The one that's outside the gate?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
the one that gets vandalized a lot.
Yeah. And what do we rent that for? How much is it?
It's $100 a day.
$100 for the whole day. So
We probably rented out maybe 6 times this summer.
looks like, 6 this year, 7 last year, 100.
The meals from the school are distributed there, so.
Yeah, so we have the meal program is there, so.
I think it works well for that, because then our staff can go over and get their lunches too. And they did last year. It was nice.
What's the full facility around there?
So I just broke that down in our software this year because we've had more reservations for the full facility from different groups. So like the Boys and Girls Club, Spirus did a group, Assumption, or from. I think those were the,
Circle's a free day.
but that's private facility rental, or that's what we call it in our software. So next year we'll have a better gauge of the exact, because otherwise that was, tracked under the Rapids Road reservation. That's how we were supposed to track it before, so now I shifted it over to have its own little category. But that's the $400 an hour.
Is that what it was?
Those work out well. Try to tack them on to the end of the day or the beginning of the day, and the groups that have attended those really enjoy it.
Anything else on that?
Okay, we can move on to, zoo update.
Yeah, page 3, we just put in there a spreadsheet on the yearly zoo attendance the last 5 years, so I'm just trying to keep track of that. Obviously, it was a good year, 5,000 people more than about 5,000 people more than last year.
I think it goes to people.
Our zoo attendants do that, so there's a tally on everyone. They pretty much keep track of everyone who comes into the pet zoo. So it's a good
Just give them a
system.
binder with the,
So it's probably even higher because there's people that don't go into the petting zoo.
Yeah. So,
I'm just curious.
we always have good turnouts on our program days there with Encourage. There's 2 of them there this year. And then also with the Blue Whale exhibit. We'll bring that back again next year. Still working on the River Otter exhibit. They're hoping to be done at the end of the month. There's just been some hiccups and some delays on everything. So I still think we could do, if it is up and running, we could do some type of soft opening for it for the public with the ribbon cutting ceremony with Legacy.
Like in October or something or something?
Yeah, for that.
It's not, the water's not frozen.
Yeah. It'll be all right. Talking to the city engineer, Joe Exit, sounds like we're gonna be installing the playground equipment ourselves in November.
So we got a certification or?
Technically, we don't need one, we need
Oh.
to have it inspected by
Oh,
a
yeah.
CPS out. So,
Okay.
it'll be good winter work for us. And, if we're successful, we can just do all ours
Yeah,
going forward, so.
that would be great. I'm sure it'd save us some money and I don't know if it'd save you guys any aggravation, but.
We'll find out.
I just want to see the test photos, you know, when, you know, Paul goes down the slide.
Yeah.
You know, you do the monkey bar. All right. Have we had any more problems with
No.
vandalism? Okay.
No, but we did take those feeders in every night,
Mhm.
so we took care of that for them. They know that wasn't that big a deal, so move them in, take them out, take them in, so. That's really about it. It was a good year, so.
Anything else on the zoo?
That whale thing you brought in here, man, that brought some people in there.
Mhm.
I was gonna try to take a quick trip through there, and I drove by, and I didn't know nothing quick about this at all.
Yeah,
They were lined up.
Yeah.
I think they said they counted 1,200 people for that day, so. It was a good turnout.
I bet you're calling it a tough time that day.
Okay, we can move on to budget discussion.
So first couple pages, we do a budget narrative. Each department says one to council, so they read it. So it's just a breakdown of accomplishments, staffing, and then 2026 goals and objectives. So it breaks down park and rec, building maintenance, and then the low center. the three material.
Lights are gonna put in this winter, I see.
Yes.
I'm sorry, when was that? When?
Lights, winter lighting. I think the lights get delivered end of October. And hopefully this winter being hopefully calm, we'll get them up this winter with water and light. When the ground's cold.
And that's because the ground's hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would be nice when that's done.
I had a few things that I had questions about. The replacement reserves, that was,
For aquatics?
under aquatics, yeah, and so we budgeted, it's kind of like almost 9,000 one year, then nothing, and then 80, and then 20. Why such big shifts and
I
things
don't-
like that?
Each year money gets put in there, usually it's $20,000. So
Okay,
that 80,000 is, I think, the current amount that's in there.
okay, I was
So
curious.
I don't know why those other columns aren't filled in.
So that's not how much was put in last year, that's
Correct.
just
That's
the
just
total
balance.
that's in there, okay, the
Yeah.
balance, that makes more sense, okay.
That money is there for, repairs.
Right, well, it's important to have that.
I know we're looking at replacing the jumping, the logs in there.
Mhm.
And the pool, because they're tearing, so next year, and they're not cheap. They're
Yeah,
about $15,000 for 5 of them, so, yeah.
so is that the same case back here, with the Christmas decorations?
Yeah,
Right, so
Yep.
that 16,000 is
Yeah.
the
Is the
balance,
balance.
not, okay.
Yep.
Okay, I was just really curious about that big change there, how it worked out. Okay.
I don't know if it's not or it's wages, the projects that we do, is all usually the Park LA funds that we get each year from motel. We're looking at increasing the lifeguard wage for next year, so that's why it's up an extra $5,000 from 2025.
Increasing what, I'm sorry?
The lifeguard wage,
Okay, like,
So,
okay.
which will be taken to HR next month. So,
There was also kind of a big jump in uniforms for the aquatic center, just under,
I think that was because we don't always have to order a ton of them every year. So
That's our new crisis thing.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Delta is a school building's running a drill.
Okay,
Okay.
that'll get your attention.
School's out.
I know, sometimes the place that I've gotten the shirts from, it's like a one-man show, and sometimes his billing comes at odd times, so I think that's what happened. If it's for this year, is it for last year?
Well,
With
this
what's
year is
budgeted.
2,000, last year was 1,000, so. Just kind of,
Yeah, I think it's because we don't, like, I have a ton of them left over from this year, but I needed to order them this year.
okay,
And then
okay. Do they get to keep those, or do
they
they?
do, they're pretty well
Sure.
worn.
Yeah, all that chlorine and, yeah,
It's
teenagers.
Admission, well, it's mostly the admissions concessions stuff
Okay,
and the,
okay.
they get stuff.
All right. Yeah, that was just a 100% jump there, so I was curious about that, so. And we had talked about because of the vandalism at the, at the shelters, I think we talked about some sort of, like cameras or something. I didn't see anything about that.
Oh, there are
Potentially, yeah.
cameras over there, yeah.
Were we going to change that though? We had a discussion about, I'm trying to remember. It was about like,
Sending, I think it was the change was going to be sending the footage right to PD. Was that
maybe
it?
that seemed like, and there was something, related to the cost of that. I don't know whether we were gonna do that or not. I don't think we ever touched on or went
Yeah,
further
we-
into it.
If we see a problem like the next day, IT will have to take the
Okay.
footage and they send it.
Okay, all right.
Winterfield, nothing's changed there. Still the same operations. Meadfield, we did notice a hike in water usage this year, but I think because the place was so busy with having the playground, it was like, there's always people there, and I think they stay there longer now with
Yeah.
families because of the playground. Which is good. It's a lot of, you think, the budget $29,000 for water to go into a drain and out to storms. But it gets used a lot. Bike trails, Paul, anything going on different on bike trails?
Yeah, I did notice that was, down on,
Last year,
budget.
We did some asphalt.
okay,
Yeah, so the bike trails are on like a 5-year cycle of maintenance activities.
okay,
Last year, the big improvement was underneath the expressway bridge on the west side.
yeah,
We did a new railing and everything like that. And so this year was just going back to traditional maintenance.
okay,
And with the contract price that we got, we were able to do probably close to 60% of the trails.
okay.
So next year we only have, a smaller section left to do because we actually did some of it this year, so.
We were talking with the police department about there's such an increase in the electric bikes.
Yep.
And there's the different classes of electric bikes. And we were talking about perhaps, we need some signage on the trails to remind people that have those, I think it's class 3 or something that can, they can.
There was on our street the other day, there was like a 14-year-old kid, he had to be doing 40.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Was he wearing a helmet?
No, of course not.
We've had calls about this, and I know you said you contacted
I know.
the county.
Yeah, right now I'm
There's-
looking at checks with the county for signage and verbiage, so we're all on the same page.
Okay, okay.
So we are working on it.
Okay,
Just kind of reaching out to different other communities, other cities, and how they're
how they're dealing with
addressing
it,
with this.
sure.
same thing.
Okay.
So,
I double check, I think the cameras are definitely, is that right? The dog park, when we had talked about cameras at the dog, I just checked on the notes, because we were talking about it.
Yeah. I remember it was, Kevin
Kevin
Fangman was talking
Yeah, he
about
was
that.
talking about the IGS.
Yeah, yeah.
When we were at Helen Shoe House.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
about the dog park donation, like if we had a donation.
Oh,
That
okay.
was what
Okay.
that discussion
that
was
it.
about,
Okay,
and
all
it
right.
was about putting an Ethernet.
Oh, okay.
As the easiest or cheapest way to do, I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
not sure how it works, but I don't know if that was what it was about.
Yeah.
Anything.
Thank you. Alright. Looks good. You guys have done a good job on it. In my opinion.
yeah, it's really, again, any questions, we can always bring it up at the next meeting. just like to give it to you, to review.
Christmas decorations thing there. We spent $23,000 on Christmas decorations.
No, that's well, pretty much, so you got salaries and wages,
Right.
that pretty much have it.
That's everything.
Yeah, that's
We use the same decorations.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's,
Yep.
That's what I kind of thought. I wasn't sure.
so, more months.
See, the fireworks budget went up too.
Yep.
Is that because of the cost or?
Cost and then the cost of, the porta johns went up quite a bit,
Cost of what?
renting the porta johns from
Oh,
previous year, so.
Well, we got fireworks show this year.
Any other questions on the budget? Move on to the bills.
I don't know, I looked at the bills and I make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the audit of the bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Staff reports.
Well, a lot of mine was about aquatics, but one of the things that wasn't included was just some of the closing things, getting the food that was left over figured out, inventoried, sent back. And then adult flag football started last week. We've got one person who's repping, another one who's interested now, and then actually one more student, I think, from Lincoln that might be. I think she texted me yesterday, so I think we're gonna have our full reps. It's just taking a little longer to get it started. So right now the teams are kind of self-repping along with the one person that's there. So that started last Wednesday, and then that will go through mid-October.
Where is that being held at?
It's at Mead Field.
Field men's softball.
Yeah.
Field.
Okay.
And then this week we'll start the flag football for youth flag football. And that'll be at Mead also.
So,
Working on fall programming, getting the Kraken Swim Club practice schedule figured out, pickleball figured out, volleyball, women's and co-ed basketball, and then dodgeball we're gonna try this year as well. So I don't know if anybody will sign up. It's kind of a short season and we'll see. It was something that we had gotten a couple requests for, so I figured I'd add it in and see how it goes. We did the Dell's ticket sales for several of the attractions there, and last year we sold like $3,900 worth of tickets. This year we were up to $6,600, so that was really it was a huge jump, and a lot of people coming in to get those tickets, which is nice to kind of increase traffic in our office and just make people aware that we're there. So that went pretty well. Other than that, the bulk of mine was about aquatics.
So I noticed there was something in there about streamlining, wanting to streamline the payroll. So can you elaborate on that?
That
What's going
process
on?
is tough because we have the kids entering their time in our ESS, and the employee self-service software. And then I also have them punch a clock when they get there, just because it's kind of a double check with their time. And there's a lot of times where they don't necessarily always enter all of their time on the computer, or they might not punch out, or like there's a lot of inconsistencies, and I don't know how to make that process better, but when you have like 70 kids to do payroll for, it's tedious. It's a time consuming process. And it's not really a fun process.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
But I don't know how else to make it better. I mean, we've had paper timesheets in the past, and that's tedious because you have to enter everything in. So I'm not sure what the best options are for that. It's a big topic of discussion with the Parks group. They just sent an email about it last week.
Okay.
I need to read into this and see. So I'm hoping maybe some other communities have some ideas for how we can make it better, but I don't know because I know we're supposed to be sticking with the software that's being used, so
Right,
it's tough.
okay.
Maybe just more training with the kids or reminders. A lot of this is their first job, so it's a different thing for them to get used to.
What do you mean by you're supposed to be sticking with this stuff? What did you mean that?
So the Munis, like the budget software, the finance
Mhm.
software has an employee side of it, and I know that,
Okay, I see
in
what
the
you're saying.
past,
The
I know
software that
that's
the
what
city
they-
uses. Okay, I
Correct,
guess
and I
I'm
know
saying.
in the
Okay.
past, we've done the paper timesheets, and then I think Human Resources really wanted us to start having everybody enter their own time on it, which they do, but it's not the easiest. It's an easy process, it's tough to get
But
everyone
it's really
checked.
pretty much the only thing where we have youth employees too.
Right, and then, like, you have to round your time, to the quarter hour, and that always
Mhm.
doesn't work, so that, we have to fix a lot of those things. It's check-in for, basically every check-in for each employee, so it's tedious. It takes probably a day each week, I would say.
Okay.
So,
All right.
I mean, that's what our seasonal person does, but it's a tedious process, so we were just talking about some ideas for maybe how to make it easier. Maybe it's just more training for the staff.
Well, maybe, talking about the council about categorizing it differently. It sounds like it'd make it easier because it's not gonna be the same rules across the board.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's something I will.
Okay.
That
Right,
doesn't
Dean's
make a lot
gonna
of
handle
sense.
payroll.
I just sell stuff, I don't pay more. I always have somebody else count it, my job, so. But no, we should look into that.
I know there's some communities that have like the swipe cards, you can actually, it tracks your time right when you swipe it.
Okay.
That's, I think, a different system. I don't know, I thought it was something that they were talking about, but that would be, it's a small group of employees,
Yeah.
I guess, and they're seasonal, so I don't know if
Yeah.
they would make a request.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, for the month of July, August, field staff, preventive maintenance at all city-owned buildings, grass cutting, spring trimming, weed spraying, all the baseball field maintenance for the month of July, for all the 6 fields that we maintain, helping the street department downtown for the 4th of July activities and cleanup after that. Continued maintenance at the aquatic center, the zoo. We did our location for 50 tree plantings that we're gonna do this coming fall, so that's set to go. Did our ash injections, over 500 inches this year. Over 30 grass complaints again this summer. Landscape areas, mulching under trees, just that type of stuff.
How's the apple orchard going? I'm curious there.
Started it 2 weeks ago.
I saw
Yeah, so
something going on
volunteers,
at Mead out
So you
there,
can
right in
probably
the
grab
middle. It's in
Yeah,
the middle
that
between the,
area.
okay.
Over there. There's 110 in there. You drive by, it looks like a ball. Like a ball's right there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
okay.
I trial by ear, but all volunteers. We did the tree grafting this past winter. They did over 300. And I'm gonna try planting 110.
Okay.
So.
Anything to add? Okay, that pretty much wraps it up. Next month is the 13th, I believe.
Sounds right.
Do you have a motion to adjourn then?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? About that. Okay.